Me, what's up, Dax? How you doing? How you doing, guys? Welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, feel free to hit that little red button that says subscribe. Um, I've been thinking, and I was like, well, what album do I do now? What artist haven't I done yet? Because I know I've done some Miley, and I know I've done. Okay, let me rephrase this. All of this completely. I've done the Legendary Five, but I also wanted to branch out a little bit so y'all see what other kind of stuff I do, some other stuff that I listen to, so y'all don't get bored with who I call the Legendary Five. So I've been thinking of my brother, obviously, always. Um, and oddly enough, some of this artist has been popping up on my YouTube music list, which they should because I like them anyway. But I just haven't listened in a while. Um, so I did some pondering, like the brain, and said, you know what the hell, why not do this? Because I even asked my dad because I honestly wanted to do, which I'll probably do it eventually anyhow. Anywhere But Home, the live album by Evanescence. One day I will do it, but according to my dad, and I'm pretty sure you guys, and I hear it too, I have a bit of a pitch. Vocally, I have a pitch problem that I need to fix or work, at least work on and make it sound better. So I asked him, Anywhere But Home or this album by this artist, and he said this album by this artist. So today we are gonna do Stained. Break the Cycle. I was trying to remember what it was. I think this is their debut album. I think. Hang on, Alexa. Alexa, what was the debut album by Stained?
From chaosspin.com. Tormented was Stained's debut studio album. Did that answer your question?
No.
Thanks for your feedback.
Alright, let me ask Google. What was the debut album by Stained?
Tormented. According to Wikipedia, Tormented is the debut studio album by the American rock band Stained, self-released in 1996.
Okay, so maybe this is the commercially first released album by Stained. Because I could have sworn that this was I could have sworn that this was it. So let me see. History, band, discography. Here we go. Okay, so technically, this is their third. I always thought it was their debut, because it's Tormented, then Dysfunction, and then Break the Cycle. So apparently, I was wrong. So my bad. So when I put it in when I make the playlist, I'll put it as their third album, and I'll make sure to leave the first two in case you guys want to know, because I'm pretty sure the first two were self-released, like the device said, self-released by Stained, and then this one was the first one released by a record label. But just for my own amusement, let me see if I'm right. It's the third studio album by American through Elektra Entertainment and Flip Records in 2001. Stained's most successful album. The album broke them into the mainstream, which is a huge international success for the band. Okay, so this was their first big, I would say this is their breakout album, if you would. Because this is the first album that I've ever heard from Stained. I don't even remember Tormented or Dysfunctional. I'll have to see if I can find it on the internet, because I'm pretty sure it's kind of like Evanescence's Origin. You remember how they had that studio album that they would give to fans at concerts and shit, and then with Fallen, that was their big breakout album, their first big studio album. It was I'm thinking it's kind of like that, but maybe I'm wrong by comparison. I don't know. nevertheless, I'm going to do it anyway. And yes, I will do Tormented and Dysfunctional if I can find them. Okay? So, this is the one I'm going to do first. So, I'm going to take a sip of my Coke Zero. Yes, I'm an Avatar fan. Leave me alone. Whoopsie. I don't know what. I'm on Wikipedia. So anything, a lot of places in Wikipedia are linked when they put it into the story. Okay. So, that's enough of my little introduction, or long ass introduction, because it's about 6 minutes. So, I'm still going to do it anyway. Here's Open Your Eyes by Stained. Thank you, Shiny Toy Guns, for the lyrics, and I have no rights to either one. So, here we go. Talk about nostalgia. This is my nostalgia. That opening riff is just a madness. Like, talk about starting out with a bang. Walk along these streets. I see that a man walks alone. Oops. Just an echo of people's feet. He has no place to call his own. It'll bring out in the roof of a head. A crackhead asks for change nearby. Old man lies in an alleyway dead. A little girl lost just stands there and cries. What would you do if it was you? Would you take everything for granted like you do? Hurting recorder for sale swallows his pride for another hit. Population, there's no room in jail, but most of you don't give a shit. There's the daughters of porno stars, and your son's so deaf to kids. So lost in your little worlds, your little worlds you'll never fix. What would you do if it was you? Would you take everything for granted like you do? You turn away, you turn away, you turn away, you turn away. Walk along these streets, soaking up the acid rain. Beneath the taxi cabs, I hear the streets cry out in vain. What would you do if it was you? Would you take everything for granted like you do? What would you do if it was you? Would you take everything for granted like you do? Alright guys, that was Open Your Eyes by Stained. Hope I did it okay. I know I probably messed up in a few places, but it was crazy. It kind of reminds me. I'm gonna go for it. Kind of reminds me of a lot of Phil Collins's solo, especially in his later creations, like both. I would say from But Seriously Forward. He talks very political and very. He opens up his opinion and he's like, he's not trying to force his opinion on anybody, but he's like, I feel this way. Does anybody else? Does anybody else? Like, kind of, in the song is really trying to remind us to be grateful, like I feel about Another Day in Paradise. Like, what would you do if it was you? Would you take everything for granted like you do? And sometimes we all need that little slap in the back of the head, kind of reminds me of Cat Williams. One of his little bits, he said, be great. Something about being grateful that you have a Chrysler 300. Don't complain that you have a Chrysler 300. Be happy you have it. Because there's a lot of people in the world that don't have just the simplest things that we take for granted. Like t-shirts, shorts, underwear, my case, slippers. It's just another song of just reminding us all, just remember what you have. Don't bitch about what you don't. Because I catch myself bitching all the time. Like prior to me saying for the sake of argument, before I got this laptop, I was like, man, I wish I had a laptop to do this better for YouTube and stuff. And then one day, by the grace of God, my dad was willing to help me get one. And then I pay him back because, like I said, I'm on disability. I just can't jump and get a computer like that. So thanks, Bob. So, do I have the fanciest laptop in the history of laptops? Probably not. Do I care? No. I need something that will make good videos for you, and so I can post it on YouTube. My phone was doing just fine, but I just prefer a keyboard that I can touch with my fingers. Like, instead of touching the screen, like, I like to kind of, especially for the YouTube stuff, I like to feel it with my fingers and just know where they're at. Like, I like the raised concept. How's that? Enough of my blabbering. But just, that's just what the song is about. It's really just a rock version of Another Day, a heavy rock version of Another Day in Paradise, but it speaks about more subjects than just the homeless. That's just my opinion. How do you feel about this song? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to hit that little red button. Ding! And I'll see you on the next one. Bye, guys.